Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and we've got a very sad dialogue today, actually, Marco.
That's right. Today we have a very sad but interesting dialogue of something that happens all the time. Maybe you have a girlfriend, maybe you had a boyfriend, and you break up.
That means you are no longer boyfriend and girlfriend. Let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about what's going on. Hello?
Hey, do you want to go out tonight?
No, I think I'll pass. Mark broke up with me. I feel awful.
What? What happened? Just last week you were talking about going on vacation together.
I don't know what I did wrong. He said he needed some space to figure things out. He said I didn't do anything wrong, that I'm a great person, just not the one for him.
That's so cliche. Mark's not worth your time, Lydia. You deserve so much better.
I know we had hit a rough patch, but I had hoped we could work it out next weekend when we both had some time off. I think he found someone else. I had been getting suspicious because he had been spending a lot of time with a coworker.
Whatever. He's a jerk. Forget about him. There are many more fish in the sea.
Talk about being cliche, Maggie. But you're right. There's no use for me to sulk around. Let's go out tonight.
All right, we're back. So obviously this girl, Lydia, is very torn. She's very sad because her boyfriend broke up with her.
That's right. She's crying the whole time this dialogue was going on.
That's right. So, but she did mention, her and her friend mentioned some interesting things. Why don't we take a look at some of the words they used on Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
So first of all, her friend says, "Hey, do you want to go out tonight?" And what does Lydia say?
She says, "No, I think I'll pass."
All right, I think I'll pass. I will pass. So what does this verb mean, to pass?
So that means she is politely rejecting the offer or the invitation.
So no thanks.
No thanks. That's basically what it means.
I won't go. So, hey Marco, you want to go see a movie in a couple hours?
No, I think I'll pass. I got homework to do.
All right, so Marco will not come. That means to decline an invitation.
That's right. So that's what it means, to pass. Now, as they continue to talk, they mention some of the problems with her boyfriend, but Maggie said, "Ugh, that's so cliche."
So the boyfriend said something, and Maggie thinks that what he said was very, very cliche.
So what is something that is cliche?
Cliche means something that is said or done very often. It's almost like we would expect it.
So like, for example, what's a cliche phrase or a cliche action?
Well, in the dialogue, they were talking about ways of breaking up with people. So, for example, it's not you, it's me. Let's break up. So that's a cliche because it's a sentence, it's a phrase everyone always says. It's not very, maybe not very honest.
Okay.
Or like a movie cliche would be, a couple, they're getting married, but their parents, the parents of the bride, they're divorced. They hate each other. But then at the wedding, they get back together. They're going to get married again. That's a cliche story.
That's right.
Because you've heard it before.
Right. All the time. It's very common.
So something that's very common, something that you would expect, that's a cliche. And a cliche, calling something a cliche is not a good thing. It's usually a bad thing.
That's right. Okay. So Maggie goes on to say that, this guy, Mark, her ex-boyfriend, he's not really worth it. She says, "You deserve so much better."
Okay, so to deserve is a verb, and it means that you should receive something, or you should expect something. So almost like, in this case, you deserve better. You have earned something better. You're a good person. You should receive you should have a good boyfriend.
That's right. So when she says you deserve so much better, she's talking about deserving a better guy, a better man.
Or for example, so Marco, you work so hard at school, you're always doing your homework, you really deserve good grades. That means you should receive good grades.
Very good. Now, when Lydia said, "Yeah, you know what, I just thought we were having some problems, and we had hit a rough patch," so that means she is politely rejecting the offer or the invitation. So that means she is politely rejecting the offer or the invitation.
So
So she's talking about a rough patch. What is that?
A rough patch is actually something we talk about a lot in spoken English. It's a way to describe a period of time, so maybe a week or a month, when things are difficult. You know, when maybe you argue with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or when you're sad a lot, or when you're confused. And so a period of time when you're angry or sad with your boyfriend or girlfriend, that's a rough patch.
So maybe we can apply a rough patch to another situation, like at work. Maybe you're going through a rough patch at work.
That means I'm always busy, I'm always tired, I don't feel happy with my job, I'm going through a rough patch.
So it's usually a temporary period of time where things are going bad.
It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, but it's a fixed amount of time. It's not forever.
Right.
It's just a period.
Okay, very good. And Lydia went on to say that, you know, she thought that maybe he was going out with someone else, and she was suspicious because he was spending a lot of time with some other girl.
Okay, so to be suspicious is to think that something is happening, but you don't know. So, for example, Marco, I think you've been taking the milk from the kitchen. You are always drinking coffee, and you always take milk in your coffee, and there's no more milk, so I think it was you. I'm being suspicious. I'm thinking that maybe you did something bad or wrong.
That I'm guilty. So maybe you're suspicious that someone is stealing the milk, or maybe you suspect, or you're suspicious that your next door neighbor is maybe a car thief.
Right, so you're very suspicious. That means you're always thinking that this person or someone else is doing something bad.
That's right. Okay, so a lot of words there, talking about relationships, talking about cliches. Why don't we go back? Let's listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit with Fluency Builder.
Hello?
Hey, do you want to go out tonight?
No, I think I'll pass. Mark broke up with me. I feel awful.
What? What happened? Just last week you were talking about going on vacation together.
I don't know what I did wrong. He said he needed some space to figure things out. He said I didn't do anything wrong, that I'm a great person, just not the one for him.
That's so cliche. Mark's not worth your time, Lydia. You deserve so much better.
I know we had hit a rough patch, but I had hoped we could work it out next weekend when we both had some time off. I think he found someone else. I had been getting suspicious because he had been spending a lot of time with a coworker.
Whatever. He's a jerk. Forget about him. There are many more fish in the sea.
Talk about being cliche, Maggie. But you're right. There's no use for me to sulk around. Let's go out tonight.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some of those phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so Marco, these are cliche phrases that we hear in English when people are breaking up, okay? So there's some breaking up phrases, but there's also phrases that you might hear from your friend after you have a breakup, okay? The first phrase we're going to look at, I think, is to need space. So he said he needed some space.
Right, and that's a cliche phrase, as we said, but it means that maybe her ex-boyfriend or Mark needs more space, needs more time to be on his own, or needs more time to do his own things.
That's right. So when you're in a relationship, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're always together. I need some space means I want to be alone. I don't want to be with my boyfriend or girlfriend. Sometimes this is just a small period. Sometimes it's forever. It depends.
That's right. So when somebody says that they need space, it means they need a little bit of more time to be on their own, or to be alone, as you said. And also, he had also given her another cliche phrase. Mark said that she is not the one for him.
Okay, so the emphasis here is the one.
The one, that's right.
She's not the one for him. So in English, we often talk about the one, and this means the person that you will marry, the love of your life.
Your significant other, your other half.
That's right, and so you hope that you will marry the one. But her boyfriend realized, he said, listen, I like you, but you're not the one.
Right.
You're not the person that I will marry. So this is a phrase you often hear in breakups.
So if you're single, maybe you don't have a boyfriend or you're not married, you might say that you haven't found the one.
Or yeah, you have a lot of different boyfriends, but you still haven't found the one. That means the one you will marry.
That's right. Okay, very good. And now towards the end of the dialogue, Maggie also gives her some advice and said, you know what? Forget about him. There are many more fish in the sea.
Okay, so this is a phrase that we often say when we're trying to make somebody feel better. So the person is sad and we want to make them happy. And so there are many more fish in the sea means that there are other men in the world. Okay,
right.
You're sad. You broke up. I understand. But there are so many other men you could date. So she's trying to say, hey, listen, look at this world. There's so many different options.
That's right. So it's the similarity of how in the sea you have so many fish, in the world you have so many men, so don't worry about it.
And you can say this about women too. So, for example, if I'm talking to my male friend or my brother, and my brother just broke up with his girlfriend, I can say, hey, listen, there are many more fish in the sea.
That's
many
right.
other women.
So don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
And Lydia says, you know what? I think you're right. And there's really no use for me to sulk around. So what does she mean to sulk around?
To sulk. Now, this is something that is very visual for me. I see somebody sulking. Their head is low. They're sad. Someone who is sulking often wears their sweatpants or their pajamas. They don't make
change.
themselves look good. To sulk around means to be in your house, to be sad, to watch TV and eat ice cream. So stop sulking. Don't look sad. Be happy.
Right.
So to sulk is to act sad and to, be very down.
So it's kind of like it's kind of a combination of being lazy, and also sad at the same time because
Exactly.
something bad happened to you.
Exactly. And so we often say that in English, teenagers like to sulk. I'm so angry at my parents. And your parents will say, hey, stop sulking. Go
That's
study.
Right, that's right. Very good. Okay, so a lot of great phrases here. I think we can go back. Let's listen to this dialogue one last time.
Hello?
Hey, do you want to go out tonight?
No, I think I'll pass. Mark broke up with me. I feel awful.
What? What happened? Just last week you were talking about going on vacation together.
I don't know what I did wrong. He said he needed some space to figure things out. He said I didn't do anything wrong, that I'm a great person, just not the one for him.
That's so cliche. Mark's not worth your time, Lydia. You deserve so much better.
I know we had hit a rough patch, but I had hoped we could work it out next weekend when we both had some time off. I think he found someone else. I had been getting suspicious because he had been spending a lot of time with a coworker.
Whatever. He's a jerk. Forget about him. There are many more fish in the sea.
Talk about being cliche, Maggie. But you're right. There's no use for me to sulk around. Let's go out tonight.
All right, so talking about breakups, these cliche lines, and well, Maggie's obviously upset. What other cliche lines or breakup phrases have you heard apart from "It's not you, it's me," "You're just not the one,"
I need some space.
"I need some space."
I think of you more like a friend, because there's like a boyfriend or girlfriend, but then there's a friend. And so, listen, I like you, but I think of you more like a friend.
Yeah, I think that's a typical one, especially if you're asking someone out on a date. They might say that, oh, I really like you, but I see you more as a friend than anything else.
So there's another one that's very popular. Sometimes you hear people say, I'm just not ready for a relationship.
And that's also a cliche line.
Or I'm not ready to commit.
I'm not ready to commit. Yeah. And it's interesting because I think breaking up is one of the hardest things that people can do. And I think maybe this is why you just use one of these phrases that are so popular and common, because I guess it's kind of a a good way to explain in very soft terms what you want to say and to break up with someone.
That's right. And I think that sometimes people are afraid to make the other person sad. And so they say these things that are very, general, like it's not you, it's me.
Right.
But sometimes this makes the other person even more sad because they don't understand why that they're breaking up. So
What about breaking up over the telephone or breaking up with a letter?
oof. Generally, at least in America, we say that breaking up over email or letter or phone is not a good way to end a relationship. It's very cold.
It's very cold. So the other person would be very angry if that happened.
That's right. You just want to see the person and say, listen, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about this
Right.
face to face.
Okay. So this is actually very interesting because as we say, maybe in other countries or in other cultures is not really a negative thing to break up over the phone or maybe send an email saying, you know what, I don't want to see you anymore.
Right. So I'd be very curious to hear about you guys and your cultures and what happens when people break up where you live. So let us know. We hope to see you there. And of course, we hope that you haven't had any very bad breakup experiences. But if you're comfortable sharing, we'd like to hear about your culture and your background.
All right. So we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, my friend. Before I begin, I want you to stop for a moment and think. What did you do with your day today? Did you learn something new? Did you move one small step toward your dream? Or did you just scroll, watch, and let the hours go away? I ask you this because I used to be that person, the one who thought life was long, time was plenty, and tomorrow was always waiting. But I was wrong. This is my story, and maybe it can change your life like it changed mine. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I want to tell you a story. This story is real. It is about something that changed my life. My name is John. I am 78 years old. When I was young, I didn't care about anything. I woke up late. I played games all day. I laughed a lot, but I learned nothing. I didn't read books. I didn't work. I didn't think about my future. Every day was the same. I was wasting time, but I didn't see it. Then one weekend, my uncle came to visit. He was quiet and serious. He sat down with me and looked into my eyes. I smiled, but he didn't smile back. He said, "Don't waste your time." Just that. Nothing more. No long talk, no big story. He stood up and walked away, but I couldn't forget his words. They stayed in my head like a song on repeat. For many days, I thought about his words. At first, I didn't care. I thought I had lots of time. But slowly, I started to feel different. I looked at my life. I saw how many hours I lost. I asked myself, what am I doing? I had no answer. I felt sad. I wanted to change. I wanted to use my time better. I didn't want to waste my life. So, I began with small steps. I started waking up early. I read 1 page of a book every day. I wrote down my thoughts in a notebook. I watched videos about learning. I asked people for advice. I tried new things. Some days were hard. I wanted to quit. But I remembered my uncle's words. They gave me power to keep going. Now I am older. I am not rich or famous, but I am proud. I use my time well. I learn new things. I help others, and I feel happy. All this started with one short sentence. Don't waste your time. That sentence changed my life, and maybe it can change your life too. So, listen to me. Don't wait. Don't be lazy. Start today. In the beginning, I didn't know how to change. I was still the same person. I was lazy. I didn't want to work hard. But I remembered what my uncle said, so I made a plan. It was a simple plan. I wrote 3 things on paper. Wake up early. Read every day and write 1 idea. That was my plan. I put the paper on my wall. I saw it every morning. It helped me start. Waking up early was not easy. The first week was very hard. I wanted to sleep more. My bed felt warm and soft. But I said no. I got up. I opened the window. I looked at the sky. I took a deep breath. The morning air felt new. It felt clean. My mind was quiet. I started to like mornings. They gave me energy. They made me feel strong inside. Reading was also a big change. I did not like books before. I thought they were boring. But I started with easy books. Just 1 page a day, then 2 pages, then 5. I read stories. I read facts. I read about people who worked hard and changed their lives. Those stories gave me hope. They showed me that small steps can build a better future. I wanted that future too. Writing was the hardest part. I didn't know what to write. My hand was slow. My words were simple, but I didn't stop. I wrote one small idea each day. Sometimes I wrote about my dreams, sometimes about my fears. Sometimes I just wrote a word, but I wrote. And that small habit helped me understand myself. It helped me see what I wanted from life. As the weeks passed, I felt proud. My life was still simple, but I was moving forward. My days were not wasted. I was learning. I was growing. I didn't feel lost anymore. I had a goal. I had a plan. And I had a reason to wake up. All this came from one moment, one visit, and one sentence from my uncle. Don't waste your time. I started to talk less and listen more. Before, I always wanted to speak. I wanted people to hear me. But now, I listened. I listened to people with experience. I listened to people with ideas. I watched how they lived. I saw how they worked hard. I learned from their stories. I saw that smart people don't waste time. They use time like gold. Every minute is important to them. I also stopped doing things that gave me nothing. I watched less TV. I used my phone less. I stayed away from people who only talked but never worked. They laughed all day but did nothing. I didn't want to be like them. I wanted to grow. I wanted to be better. So I made a new rule for myself. If something is not useful, I will not do it. That rule helped me stay focused. Soon, I began to see small changes. I was reading more. I was writing better. My ideas were clear. I started to understand myself. I knew what I wanted. I didn't feel lazy anymore. I felt strong. My time had meaning. I used to waste hours. Now, I used every hour for something good. That feeling was new to me and I liked it very much. One day, my uncle came to visit again. He looked at me and smiled. He didn't say much, but I think he saw the change in me. I told him what I was doing. I showed him my notebook. He nodded and said, "Good." That one word made me happy. I knew I was going the right way. His short sentence helped me find a better life. So, I say this to you now. You don't need to do big things. You don't need to move fast. You just need to move. Start small. Start now. Listen to the right people. Make good habits. Use your time for learning, not for wasting. If you do that, your life will start to change too. Just like mine did. Some days were still hard. I woke up and didn't feel strong. I didn't want to read or write. I felt tired. I felt bored. But I told myself, keep going. I remembered my uncle's voice. I said the words again. Don't waste your time. That sentence became my guide. It helped me stand up when I wanted to quit. It helped me try again when I failed. I made a list of dreams. I wrote down 5 things I wanted to do. They were simple dreams. I wanted to finish a book. I wanted to learn a skill. I wanted to speak better. I wanted to help someone. I wanted to feel proud of my work. I looked at that list every day. It gave me direction. It gave me a reason to wake up early and use my time well. I also started to help other people. I saw that many were like me before. They felt lost. They wasted time. So I talked to them. I shared my story. I told them about my uncle. I said the same words to them. Don't waste your time. Some listened, some laughed. But I kept sharing. I knew that even one sentence can open a door in someone's mind. With time, I felt more confident. I started doing new things. I joined a class. I learned from teachers. I met people who wanted to grow. They helped me learn faster. We shared ideas. We studied together. Being around the right people helped me a lot. I didn't feel alone anymore. I felt like I was part of something bigger. Looking back now, I feel thankful. I am thankful for my uncle. I am thankful for his words. I am thankful that I changed. Life is not always easy, but when we use time well, life becomes better. We become stronger. We become wiser. And we feel more alive. That is what I want you to feel too. I want you to know something important. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the best. You only need to try. Trying is enough. Many people wait for the perfect time. But the perfect time does not come. The best time is now. Even if you are not ready, start now. Take one small step. That step can lead to a big change later. I was not smart when I started. I was not strong. I didn't know many things. But I used what I had. Time. Time is free, but it is also the most valuable thing. You can lose money and make it again, but you cannot get your time back. Once it is gone forever. That is why I protect my time now. I don't let people or things waste it. I also learned to enjoy simple things. I didn't need to travel far. I didn't need to buy expensive things. I found joy in learning. I felt happy after reading one good page. I smiled after writing one clear sentence. I felt proud when I helped a friend. These small things gave me peace. They gave me meaning. They helped me stay on the right path. But I didn't listen. I knew what I was doing. I knew where I was going. I didn't want their life. I wanted something better. I wanted to grow. So I stayed quiet and kept working. My time was too important for useless talk. Now, I want to ask you a question. What are you doing with your time? Are you building something? Are you learning something? Or are you wasting your days? Be honest with yourself. Your answer can show you your future. If you don't like your answer, then change it. You can start today just like I did. If you are still here listening to this story, I want to thank you. It means you care. It means you want to learn. That is a good sign. You are already better than the person who does nothing. Many people never try. They waste time and make excuses. But not you. You stayed, you listened, and maybe, just maybe, you are ready to change your life too. You don't need to be fast. You don't need to be great on day one. All you need is to begin. Set one small goal. Wake up early, read one page, write one idea, help one person. Repeat it every day. Don't stop. Some days will be easy, some will be hard, but every small step moves you forward. And that is how real change begins. Sometimes you'll feel tired. You will feel slow. Now that's okay. Rest, but don't quit. Take a deep breath. Look at how far you've come. Think about your dreams. Think about your future. Then stand up again. Do one small thing. That one thing is enough. Over time, all those small things become big progress. You will be proud of yourself. I still remember my uncle's voice. It was calm but strong. Don't waste your time, he said. I didn't understand it then, but now I do. His words were a gift, a short sentence but full of power. It changed me. It gave me a new life. I hope it can help you too. Maybe my voice can be a reminder now, just like his voice was mine. So, This is my last message to you. Use your time well. Time is your best friend. It is also your biggest test. Don't throw it away. Use it to learn, to grow, to become better. One day you will look back and smile. You will thank yourself for starting, and maybe you will share your story too with someone who needs it. Time is free, but it is priceless. You can lose money and earn it again, but you can never earn back your time. So use it well. Protect it. Respect it. Because one day, when you look back, you will thank yourself. You will smile and say, I did not waste my life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about something that I haven't actually seen in a long time, but is very common in the States, especially in suburban areas.
That's right. We're going to get a subscription, as the title of the lesson says. So we're going to subscribe to magazines, newspapers, stuff like that.
Right, so there's a guy coming around to everyone's houses, and he's offering different magazine subscriptions. So let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about what's going on.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Mike, and I'm selling subscriptions to all sorts of periodicals.
No, thank you. I'm not interested.
Please, ma'am, if you could spare 5 minutes of your time, I'm sure we could find something that could interest you.
I wish I could, but I have to walk the dog and finish cooking, so if you'd excuse me.
We have a great variety of magazines all about cooking. This one, for example, is a bi-monthly publication with recipes from all over the world.
Wow, well, that would be kind of useful. Do you have any other cooking magazines?
Sure do. This one is a quarterly publication, but each issue has over 200 color pages of recipes and also many home decorating ideas.
Wow, this is nice. Okay, sign me up for both publications.
You mentioned you have a dog. Most pet owners sign up for this weekly newsletter that has information on dog care, pet shops, and even pet sitters.
That's exactly what I needed. What else do you have?
Well, I also have...
All right, we're back. So as you saw, Mike is, well, not very excited to be selling subscriptions, but he has magazines about almost everything, I think.
That's right, and he's actually a pretty good salesperson because it sounds like this customer is going to buy quite a few magazines.
Exactly, and so he used a lot of interesting vocabulary related to magazines and subscriptions. So let's take a look at those now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so this first word is one that we've already said a couple of times in today's lesson. This is the topic of the lesson. The word is subscription.
Okay, so if you get a subscription, that means that you are paying money to receive something every month, every week, etc.
That's right. So the time is fixed. Like you said, it could be weekly. The time could change, but basically you have a promise that after you pay this money, you'll receive something periodically.
Right.
And so there are many things that you could have a subscription for, not just magazines. Newspapers come in subscriptions.
That's right. Or maybe you pay for satellite TV. That's a subscription. So you pay every month and you receive channels, like lots of channels.
Exactly. Or hopefully English Pod you receive by subscription, or you pay the subscription fee.
Exactly. So with English Pod, you subscribe. That would be the verb. A subscription is the noun. You subscribe to a service like a newspaper, magazine, and you receive the magazine or the service every month, every week, every day, depending on what the subscription is like.
Okay, and so because subscriptions come at different time frames. So, for example, English Pod, we have lessons 3 times a week. Newspapers are oftentimes every day. They come in different periods of time. So we call these kinds of publications periodicals.
Okay, so for example, as you said, a newspaper, it comes every day. That's the period of time. So it's a periodical. The same as a magazine. Sometimes they are weekly. Sometimes they are monthly.
Is a book a periodical? Pop quiz.
No. Okay.
No, because you only get it once.
Right. So basically, a periodical has to be something, I guess, that is that comes out every so often, a new version, a new edition, right?
It's continually updating.
Okay. So that is periodicals and subscriptions. Now, moving on to when he was trying to sell the magazines, he said, we have a great variety of magazines all about cooking. So what is a variety?
Variety is a great word. It's a word I personally am a very big fan of. I like to have many choices to choose from. So variety means something that has many options. For example, at the grocery store, there's a great variety of food. There are apples and crackers and cakes and wine. So variety means there are many different kinds of something.
Okay, so many choices. So if you go to a bookstore, you can find a variety of books and magazines, for example. All right, now moving on to, again, when we're talking about the period of time, how often she's going to get this cooking magazine. The one that he's showing her is a bi-monthly publication. So what exactly does it mean if she receives a magazine bi-monthly?
Okay, so this is a bit confusing in English. Bi-monthly has two meanings, but what's important is the word bi here, or the prefix bi. That means two.
Okay.
Okay, so we could say bi-monthly, bi-weekly, biannually. These all mean two. So in this case, we're talking about something that I receive 2 times every month.
Okay. Or it can be that you get it once every 2 months.
Okay, so that might be confusing.
Right.
In the first case, let's just say that it's the month of October, and I have this great subscription to a magazine. So in October, I will receive it 2 times.
Exactly. So you get it twice. Or it could also mean that you receive the magazine in October, and then you don't receive another magazine until December. So it's a bi-monthly publication.
Every
2
other
months.
month.
Every 2 months.
Right, so this is very confusing for us. It's probably confusing for you, but if you see this word bi-monthly or bi-weekly, you should ask the person who's offering the subscription what kind they mean. Is it every month 2 times, or is it every other month?
All right, so exactly. Just remember the prefix bi means 2, and then if it's bi-monthly, biannual, bi-weekly, you have to more or less make sure that they specify what they mean, because they can mean both, and that's how ambiguous this word is.
It is, but the next word we have for you is not nearly as confusing. It's a very, very common word in both periodicals and sales, but also in marketing and business as well.
Right. We're talking about a quarterly publication, or something that comes out once every quarter.
Right. So if you think about a year has 12 months. A quarter of a year is 3 months. So the first quarter is January, February, March.
Exactly. So a quarterly publication means that you will get a magazine 4 times in 1 year.
Okay, we could also talk about quarterly sales. You know, this quarter our business did very well, but last quarter was not so good. So quarter means 3 months at a time.
Exactly. And for our last word on language takeaway today, we are talking about a weekly newsletter. So weekly is pretty straightforward. You receive it once every week.
That's right. So weekly publications are very common.
What is a newsletter?
A newsletter is important in periodicals because it's not a magazine, but it's not a letter either. It's basically a short update, a couple of pages maybe, or even 1 page that's on a piece of paper that gives you information about a group or a club or a community. For example, we could say the English Pod newsletter comes out quarterly.
Exactly. Maybe in your offices you receive your company's newsletter. So usually they will, some companies will come out with a monthly or a quarterly newsletter, where if you have many offices or many branches all over the country or the world, then you will receive updates or news about what's going on in other places within your same company.
That's right. So these are very useful for communication across the company. You can tell some people in your New York office that in Los Angeles we have a new cafeteria or a new employee.
Exactly. So that is what a newsletter is basically for. I think it's time now for us to listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back to talk to you with 4 key phrases on Fluency Builder right after this.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Mike, and I'm selling subscriptions to all sorts of periodicals.
No, thank you. I'm not interested.
Please, ma'am, if you could spare 5 minutes of your time, I'm sure we could find something that could interest you.
I wish I could, but I have to walk the dog and finish cooking, so if you'd excuse me.
We have a great variety of magazines all about cooking. This one, for example, is a bi-monthly publication with recipes from all over the world.
Wow, well, that would be kind of useful. Do you have any other cooking magazines?
Sure do. This one is a quarterly publication, but each issue has over 200 color pages of recipes and also many home decorating ideas.
Wow, this is nice. Okay, sign me up for both publications.
You mentioned you have a dog. Most pet owners sign up for this weekly newsletter that has information on dog care, pet shops, and even pet sitters.
That's exactly what I needed. What else do you have?
Well, I also have...
All right, so now we have some sentences or ways that you can say things on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, this first phrase is very, very common among sales and salespeople because basically it's a way to be polite and to ask someone to listen to you for a little while. The salesperson says, if you could spare 5 minutes of your time.
Okay, so let's start with that part. If you could spare. So to spare something means, do you have something extra? Do you have enough of it?
Yeah, so I could say, can you spare $5? I forgot my wallet at home. So that means, do you have an extra $5 I could borrow?
Okay, very good. So if you're asking someone to spare 5 minutes of their time, you're asking them to give you 5 minutes of their time.
That's right. So if you could spare a second, or if you could spare 5 minutes of your time, I would like to talk to you.
Okay, so it's a very polite way to ask someone for their time. Now, for our next phrase, the woman is also very polite. She says, you know what, I have to walk the dog, I have to finish cooking, so if you would excuse me.
She's basically saying no in a very polite way. If you could excuse me.
Right.
I've got to go.
So this is kind of a very indirect but polite way of saying, I'm sorry, I can't stay, I gotta go, or I can't really talk to you right now.
That's right. Even if you're at a party, for example, and you're talking to somebody, but you don't really want to talk to them anymore, you could say, it was nice talking to you. If you could excuse me. Means
Okay.
if I can leave now.
Okay. So you can say, if you could excuse me, or if you would excuse me. Both forms are pretty much the same. Okay. And what about when she actually is convinced about the magazine? She says, wow, this is nice. Okay, sign me up for both publications.
Okay, sign me up. This means I would like a subscription. Okay, that means I would like you to take my information and I will give you some money. But this is also a really nice phrase in English because it means I want to do this. I'm interested.
So if you would use this, let's in another context, for example, a group of friends are going to the movies.
I say, oh, sign me up. I want to go. I heard that movie was awesome.
Okay, very good. So sign me up is like include me. I want to go too, or I'm part of it, of whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's all the phrases we have for you today. I think they're really good. They're not specific for this circumstance of getting a subscription. As we saw, we can use them in many other situations. So I think we should go back, listen to the dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Mike, and I'm selling subscriptions to all sorts of periodicals.
No, thank you. I'm not interested.
Please, ma'am, if you could spare 5 minutes of your time, I'm sure we could find something that could interest you.
I wish I could, but I have to walk the dog and finish cooking, so if you'd excuse me.
We have a great variety of magazines all about cooking. This one, for example, is a bi-monthly publication with recipes from all over the world.
Wow, well, that would be kind of useful. Do you have any other cooking magazines?
Sure do. This one is a quarterly publication, but each issue has over 200 color pages of recipes and also many home decorating ideas.
Wow, this is nice. Okay, sign me up for both publications.
You mentioned you have a dog. Most pet owners sign up for this weekly newsletter that has information on dog care, pet shops, and even pet sitters.
That's exactly what I needed. What else do you have?
Well, I also have...
All right, so subscriptions, periodicals, all this is very common, as you said, in the United States. People get them through the mail every month, right?
That's right. And I have to say, it's changing now. You know, we used to get subscriptions at home when I was a kid. We'd have magazine subscriptions and even a newspaper subscription. But these days, people are doing more and more on the internet. So you don't see the guy with the subscriptions coming from, going from door to door to sell you this. You do it yourself on the internet. So it's pretty common that way. Do you have any web subscriptions?
No. I haven't signed up for any periodicals on the web. I do receive the newspaper every day, And that's about it. It's kind of hard to receive magazines where we are, but I am a big fan of magazines like National Geographic or Popular Mechanics.
I had that when I was a kid. My grandmother would always give us a subscription to National Geographic for Christmas.
It's a very good magazine, and it's so colorful, full of pictures and really interesting articles, not only about animals, but about the world in general. So it's really cool.
That's right. And they always gave you a map that you could take out and open up, and it was the best part of the whole magazine.
Exactly. So actually, I really enjoy having subscriptions to periodicals, magazines, newspapers. Not a big fan of newsletters or things on the internet. I kind of like to hold a magazine or take it with me if I'm on a trip.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So yeah, but I think many of our listeners may have a subscription to their local newspaper, local magazines, or maybe, as you said, internet subscriptions. I know some people sign up for the like Harvard Business Review that's available online, or even I think the New York Times has an online platform.
They do. So you should let us know, what subscriptions do you have? What periodicals do you like to read? Our website, of course, is englishpod.com. You can also purchase a subscription there. We hope to see you on the website, and until next time.
All right, bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A purchase by prepayment for goods or services. Subscription. Do you have? Can you offer? If you could spare. At 3-month intervals. Quarterly. A final publication such as a magazine. Issue. A person that takes care of your pet while you are. Pet sitter.
Let's try that faster.
A purchase by prepayment for goods or services. Subscription. A person that takes care of your pet while you are. Pet sitter. Do you have? Can you offer? If you could spare. At 3-month intervals. Quarterly. A final publication such as a magazine. Issue.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Subscription. I have a subscription to several online newsletters. Subscription. I canceled my newspaper subscription for the month that I will be away. Subscription. My subscription to this TV channel has increased in price. If you could spare. If you could spare a minute of your time, I would like to give you some advice. If you could spare. I would greatly appreciate the help if you could spare the time. If you could spare. Hey roommate, if you could spare me some of your eggs and butter, I'll let you have a piece of the cake. Quarterly. The Research Journal is a quarterly publication. Quarterly. This magazine switched from being issued monthly to being issued quarterly in order to cut costs. Quarterly. We make a quarterly payment on our loan. Issue. Learn how to manage your time and how to cook a gourmet meal in 20 minutes in this month's issue of Easy Life. Issue. He picked up the most recent issue of his girlfriend's favorite magazine and added it to the gift basket. Issue. I much prefer the older issues of this magazine because the contents of the newer issues are no different than all the other magazines on the shelf. Pet sitter. We need a pet sitter for our 2 dogs while we're away. Pet sitter. Being a pet sitter for my neighbors is not hard at all. I just have to make sure that their birds have enough food and water in their dispensers. Pet sitter. Can you call the pet sitter and let her know that we will need her to look after the cats for a few more days?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we've got an upper intermediate level lesson.
That's right, we're gonna go and buy shoes.
Okay, this is very fun. I like buying shoes, although I have a hard time finding shoes in my size sometimes. But we're here talking about men's shoes specifically.
That's right, we've actually decided to talk about this topic, buying shoes, separately between men and women's shoes, because I think each type of shoe it has its own type of vocab, and that can be very useful for men or women.
That's right. So let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk more about the specifics of men's shoe styles.
Hi, I'm looking for a pair of shoes for my son.
Sure thing. Here we are. If you're looking for dress shoes, we have several different styles of Oxford for boys. We also carry athletic shoes, hiking boots.
Oh, Jacob, how about these sneakers?
Mom, they've got Velcro.
Well, then how about these? What is this style called?
They're tennis shoes. They're very popular with teens and young adults.
Ooh, Mom, can I get these?
What are those?
They're Chuck Taylors. Everyone has them. Can I please?
I don't know. Would they go with your clothes? The backs are really high, and the way the tongue just sticks up, they're almost like a boot. And the sole doesn't look like it would have a very good grip.
They're only $45, and they've got cool fluorescent orange shoelaces. Mom! Mom!
Okay, try them on.
What size are your feet?
Here's a size 9.
We'll try a size 43 on you first and see how that fits.
A what?
They come in European sizes. He should be a size 43. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So as you saw, we have a lot of different shoe styles. And so we're going to take a look at these on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, first up, we have a very popular style of shoe. This is called an athletic shoe.
Okay, athletic shoe. Now, I imagine that athletes wear these shoes.
Good guess, Marco. So athletic athletes. This is actually for sports in general. So this is sports shoes, but in English we say athletic shoes.
Okay, so it's not specifically for any type of sport, but they're just comfortable shoes that you can do most sports in.
Right, like running shoes and basketball shoes and soccer shoes. These are all kinds of athletic shoes.
Very good. Okay. So these types of athletic shoes, they're usually they're kind of low, right? They don't have a lot of support around the ankle.
No, but they do have a lot of support in the heel, the bottom of your foot.
Right, because you're running, you need that extra support.
Exactly.
Now, on the opposite, if you're going hiking, if you're maybe trekking, then you need a special type of shoe that's going to give more ankle support, and these are called hiking boots.
Okay, hiking boots. So like you were saying, you get a lot of support in your ankle. That's the back of your foot and the area around your leg. So these shoes tend to come higher on your leg. They're taller on your leg, and they're usually pretty heavy.
Yeah. And I think they are more weather resistant. So if it rains or if it's wet, these shoes will respond better.
You're not going to get wet feet.
You're not, yeah. And so hiking boots. And now we have another interesting word. I'd never really understood it, why they're called this way, but we have sneakers. Sneakers.
Okay, I love sneakers. I always wear sneakers. A very common brand that you see with sneakers is Puma. Also Adidas.
Right.
So Converse is another brand. Sneakers are shoes that are not fancy. They're not like leather or work shoes, but they're also not athletic shoes because you don't necessarily use them when you're playing sports. They're basically very simple shoes for, normal daily stuff.
Normal walking.
Young people wear them usually.
Okay, sneakers. Now, I never understood why they're called sneakers because I think if you sneak maybe on someone, I guess these shoes are good for sneaking up.
Perhaps.
On
I don't know. They're less noisy than other shoes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we have sneakers. And now another type of shoe that can be a little bit confusing. They're called tennis shoes.
Okay, tennis shoes can be considered a kind of sneaker. Again, it's not the kind of shoe that you would normally wear to work. It's not leather. It's not a hiking boot. They're low shoes, so low ankles generally. And they tie up,
Right. But you would think that you use these shoes to play tennis.
Not necessarily.
But not necessarily, right? I mean, you don't have to play tennis. Oh, they're not specifically designed to play tennis.
No, perhaps originally they were tennis shoes for the game tennis, but nowadays they're very, very common. They're like sneakers.
Right.
They're shoes that most young people wear to school or to play around in.
Okay, so they're kind of like you say, a sneaker. And now moving on, these might seem a little bit strange, but we call them Chuck Taylors.
Chuck Taylors, basically Chuck Taylor is a brand.
Okay.
Converse, Chuck Taylors. We also call them Chucks. And this is a style of shoe that this brand made very famous. They're very, very thin canvas shoes. So the fabric is not leather, it's canvas.
Okay.
And they come in bright red or black or green.
Yeah.
And some of them are very low, and some of them have a piece of the ankle that comes up.
So it almost looks like a boot to a certain extent, but it's not like a hiking boot. It's not very hard. It doesn't support your ankle as much. It's just the style is higher.
Exactly. And so because these are made of fabric, they're very thin, they're very light, they're not very good for hiking, for example.
Right. So these are called Chuck Taylors. They're very, very popular with teenagers, right?
That's right. Teenagers all over the world wear Chuck Taylors.
And I think they're very old. This style, these Chuck Taylors have been around for like 30 years.
I think since the 1960s or 70s.
But they're still popular.
Yeah, and they haven't changed.
They haven't changed. Right. So these are the 5 types or styles of shoes that we're going to take a look at. Why don't we move on now to more specific vocab related to the parts of the shoe on Language Takeaway Part 2.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so Jacob is talking to his mother, and his mom wants to know, hey, how about these sneakers? What do you think? And Jacob says, Mom, they've got Velcro.
Okay.
So, Marco, what's this Velcro Jacob speaks of?
Well, as you can see, Velcro is capitalized, right? And so that means this is a proper noun, and it's actually a brand.
Okay, it's like Chuck Taylors.
Like Chuck Taylors. So Velcro is supposed kind of like a zipper, right? A fastener. But instead of zipping it up, you just put 2 pieces of cloth together and they stick.
Okay, and when you pull them apart,
they make that sound, yeah.
They make a loud sound. And so sometimes with baby shoes or young children's shoes, we don't want to tie them because that's too hard. So we have Velcro. This is a kind of fabric, like you said, that sticks together. We don't have to spend all this time tying things. So you see Velcro on hats, on gloves, on jackets, on shoes. It's a very popular way to make things, close things, or to keep things secure.
In a very easy way, right? You just push them together and that's it. They're sealed.
Exactly.
So the next time you see it, now you know that it's called Velcro. I imagine in other languages it's probably called the same thing.
Well, right. It's the brand name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. And, well, now moving on to the parts of the shoe, we have the tongue.
Okay, well, think about the body part, the tongue, right? When you look at your tongue, it's straight and it's flat and it kind of curves at the bottom.
Right.
Well, on a shoe, when you're putting your shoe on, in the front of the shoe can make it stuck, you have to pull the tongue.
Right.
It's a piece of fabric or piece of the shoe where the top of your foot is.
Yeah, very good. So that's called the tongue. Now, some shoes have a very small tongue or a low one, and others have a very high one. Like, for example, Chuck Taylors, they have a big tongue.
That's right, very long tongue. And so the tongue is the part that rests on top of your foot, and usually the shoelaces are over the tongue.
Exactly. And now moving on to the bottom part of the shoe, that's called the sole.
Okay, S-O-L-E, sole. This is a really important part of shoes. I always look at the sole before I buy a pair of shoes because this is the part that you use the most because you're walking on the ground.
Right. So, for example, hiking boots, they will have a very high sole and they will have kind of like a pattern so that you don't slip if you're walking on dirt, right?
That's right. Sometimes rubber sole. But other times, like Chuck Taylors also have a rubber sole, but it's very thin.
It's very thin. And some shoes, for example, they have a plastic sole maybe because they're used for other purposes. So they might be a little bit slippery if you go onto a smooth surface.
Exactly.
So the sole, that's the bottom part of the shoe. And the last part of the shoe that we're going to take a look at, and probably the most important, are the shoelaces.
Shoelaces. So shoelaces are basically long pieces of string that you use to tie your shoes closed because you want your shoes to be tight on your foot. You don't want it to be too loose, otherwise it might fall off.
Right.
And Chuck Taylors and some other shoes are very famous for having crazy colored laces, or for people using crazy colored laces to tie them up.
Right. So that's the part that you use to tie or tighten the shoe with. So on the opposite, if a shoe doesn't have shoelaces, it's probably going to have Velcro.
That's right, Velcro or shoelaces.
Okay, so those are all the words that we have for you today. Why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue for the last time?
Hi, I'm looking for a pair of shoes for my son.
Sure thing. Here we are. If you're looking for dress shoes, we have several different styles of Oxford for boys. We also carry athletic shoes, hiking boots.
Oh, Jacob, how about these sneakers?
Mom, they've got Velcro.
Well, then how about these? What is this style called?
They're tennis shoes. They're very popular with teens and young adults.
Ooh, Mom, can I get these?
What are those?
They're Chuck Taylors. Everyone has them. Can I please?
I don't know. Would they go with your clothes? The backs are really high, and the way the tongue just sticks up, they're almost like a boot. And the sole doesn't look like it would have a very good grip.
They're only $45. And they've got cool fluorescent orange shoelaces. Mom! Mom!
Okay, try them on.
What size are your feet?
Here's a size 9.
We'll try a size 43 on you first and see how that fits.
A what?
They come in European sizes. He should be a size 43. I'll be right back. All right, so talking about shoes, you say that you always take a look at the sole. Why is this?
Because I'm always afraid that my shoes are going to wear out. And I don't buy shoes very often. I love sneakers. I love my Pumas. And I love flat shoes. And so when you buy a pair of shoes you really like, you don't want to buy another pair in 6 months. You want to get a pair that has a really good sole so that will last for a long time.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think for me, yeah, that's probably one of the most important parts is the sole, as long as it's comfortable. Because some soles of some shoes can be very rigid.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit uncomfortable to walk with. And, but I don't know. I don't really have that many pairs of shoes if I think about it.
Well, most people have one fancy pair of shoes for special occasions, and then a pair of work shoes that are leather, and then maybe a couple pairs of sneakers and some sandals.
Sandals.
For the summer.
So, but you have sandals and you have flip-flops, or are they the same?
Well, sandals is basically a kind of shoe. It's an open shoe that you wear in the summer. Flip-flops are a kind of sandal.
Oh, okay.
So they usually have a V in the front, and that's where you put your
big toe and the second toe.
Yeah, so we wear them in the shower or at the beach. They're usually made of plastic or rubber so that you can get them wet.
Right.
But sandals are flip-flops are a kind of sandal.
Yeah, very good. It's very interesting how many styles and types of shoes. And actually, for men, I think it's not that complicated. But when we get into women's shoes, then we'll see a lot of different things.
There are too many styles. I can't keep track.
All right, so that's all the time we have for today. But we'll see you guys on the website if you have any questions, any doubts, or if you just want to chat with us. We'll see you at EnglishPod.com.
See you guys there.
All right, bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A shoe used as a component of formal wear. Dress shoe. A canvas shoe with a pliable rubber sole. Tennis shoe. The flap of material under the laces of a shoe. Tongue. Way of grasping and holding firmly. Grip. A long, thin material used for fastening a shoe. Shoelaces. The underside of footwear. Sole.
Let's try that faster.
The underside of footwear. Sole. The flap of material under the laces of a shoe. Tongue. Way of grasping and holding firmly. Grip. A long, thin material used for fastening a shoe. Shoelaces. A shoe used as a component of formal wear. Dress shoe. A canvas shoe with a pliable rubber sole. Tennis shoe.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Tennis shoe. I love tennis shoes because they're comfortable. I can wear them every day, and when I go out, they still look great. Tennis shoe. Tennis shoes used to be very plain, but now they come in many different colors and many different styles. Tennis shoe. My tennis shoes are old and ratty, but I still love them. Tongue. I put my foot back in my sneaker, pulled up the tongue, tightened my laces, and I kept on running. Tongue. The tongues of these shoes keep falling down. Tongue. The shoe tongue is supposed to keep the laces from rubbing against the foot. Sole. The soles of my shoes were starting to wear down. Sole. I went to the cobbler and got him to put rubber soles on my shoes. Sole. After dancing for several hours, the soles of my feet were sore. Grip. My new sneakers have a much better grip than my old ones. Grip. My shoes lost their grip and I slipped on the polished floor. Grip. As I was climbing the tree, I lost my grip, fell, and broke my arm. Shoelaces. In the Olympics, the shoelaces of one figure skater broke in the middle of his performance. Shoelaces. My brother got me pink shoelaces with Hello Kitty on them for my birthday. Shoelaces. My mom tightened my shoelaces, made a knot, and then told me to go play outside.